guys so incredibly much for tuning in tonight. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here. Thank you guys so incredibly much for watching. And so, tonight is it's a very short live that we're actually going to do because we do have the monthly inner Zoom session. And so that's starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that starts in 1 hour. There are, I believe, like 4 seats left for that one. So you guys can go to daniellelipton.com and it's the monthly inner channeling Zoom session. And so that one's there. So if you guys want to get on that, and then, yeah, that's amazing. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. So I do have a couple of questions that came into the website. So I want to cover those first and try and get them done kind of rapidly because we really don't have enough time. And so normally my channelings can go on for an hour and a half each time. We only have 30 or 40 minutes. So let's just dive right in. Okay. So we have one comment said they wanted to travel into another dimension to be able to heal themselves or be able to have another awakening. And so the way that our physical form actually travels through these different dimension levels is by slight variations, which allow slight changes to the holographic simulation as we see it. And so what does that mean? That basically means that we are constantly shifting dimensions or parallel realities. And so depending on your frequency is automatically setting the shift. And so you shift billions of times with each and every heartbeat. So imagine a picture with a picture behind a picture and a picture behind it. So it's flipping like a picture book and it goes whoosh, 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 really, really fast. And so that's how many times we're actually flipping through the parallel realities. And so when we start to realize that if we wanted to make big changes, you would really have to go inside yourself and you would have to make a big shift to your biological frequency. Now, the biological frequency, we can use many free passes to change or modify our biologics. And so the first things first, anything that is in the physical reality that you are interacting with. And so let's say you're interacting with a crystal. This crystal carries a frequency. That frequency changes your energetic grid structure, which then in turn changes the manifestation you see. So how that works is it's changing what you are magnetically in alignment with, which then in turn shifts you into a parallel reality, which whatever it is that the crystal manifests, so each crystal has something that it does, you'll start to become in alignment with that magnetized energetic, which then in turn starts to reflect whatever it is that the crystal does into your external surroundings. And so let's say for an example, you take rose quartz. Now, rose quartz is a love stone. So anytime you are working with rose quartz, it is known to bring individuals into your life who are going to be more loving, caring, kind to you. And so let's say for an example, that's how this works. You have the rose quartz, and then the rose quartz changes your vibration. And then it hold on one second. Okay. I'll just do a little clearing real quick. Thank you. Okay, so you have the rose quartz. The rose quartz changes your energetic grids, which then in turn puts you in alignment, magnetically speaking, with a manifestation of whatever it is the crystal is intended to do. Now, each and all the crystals can also be pre-programmed by your consciousness. And so how that works is when you have a crystal, you can thank and bless the crystal or attune the crystal when you send it in a motion code. And this is another thing that the star people had trained me how to do, DNA activations. And so when I do them, the star people also do them with me. So anybody who is watching this, let's say you turn it on as a replay. If you're watching this on a replay, we're going to do a crystal programming session right now. And so I want you just to take a moment, pause the video, and grab your crystals. Now hold your crystals in your hand. Really, if you can hold them up to your heart, that's really going to allow the emotion code to fully be absorbed into the crystal. And so hold it up to your heart. And now I want you to feel an emotion code. So what emotion code do we want to program? Abundance. Okay, so how does it feel when all of your needs are met and you are overflowing with every single thing that you need? How does that feel? Close your eyes. Just allow that frequency to wash over you. And just imagine with your conscious mind that you are projecting it into the crystal. And so this is actually going to change the frequency of the crystal. And so just everyone just take a moment, because we're going to do this on the replay when you guys listen, and just imagine that abundance coding. Thank you, universal source frequency for downloading unlimited abundance coding into any crystals that are interacting with this video. And then I normally say, Amen, Usa, Usa, Usa. Now, everything manifests by 3. And so 3 is the shape of the pyramids, right? And so 333 is actually the source frequency number. And so when you say Usa, it means it is done. And so that's a martial arts term or terminology. And so we say that 3 times because it solidifies whatever it is that we wish to manifest into the holographic simulation. And so each and every crystal can be programmed like that. And so you just do it with your heart. And then we can also ask, thank you, star people, for coming and doing DNA activations on any and all crystals that are interacting with this video. And so the synchronicity and alignments are always going to be in place. This way, somebody who maybe they don't watch my videos at all, and maybe they need a particular programming done to a crystal, they may be wearing a crystal around their neck. And then all of a sudden, that person may get the chills right now as they're watching the video. And so a lot of times, this is the way the star people flow their information and their downloads. So the synchronicity always puts it in the right place at the right time in order to help the people that need to be helped. And so, yeah, that's how it works. Hey, Ashley, thank you for coming. Amazing. Hi, everybody. It's wonderful to have you guys. Okay, so question number 2. Today we're drinking juice boxes. Yeah. Delicious. Okay, question number 2. A starseed is ? And so, and do people on other planets use that terminology? So there is a reason why the starseeds will tell you that they don't fit in here. And so why is that? So the starseeds are individual soul forms who have raised their consciousness to such a degree that their last current incarnation was very loving, caring, kind. And so they didn't have to go through the negativity that we are experiencing on this planet. And so a starseed basically is the extraterrestrials who wish to help facilitate an evolutionary shift for a planet. And so this planet in particular is kind of holding back many other planets because of the laws of karma. And so the second an extraterrestrial gets involved with the planet, then all of a sudden their karma fires up, and it's kind of like it connects them energetically speaking. And so let's say, for an example, one of the extraterrestrial races may have tried to donate technology to this planet. And then what happened with the technology? It was used against the people. And so that karmically may have made a link or an energetic cord to that extraterrestrial race. And so what happened from then on is now they need us to evolve so that they can evolve. And so that's happened with many different races actually in the solar system, because a lot of people tried to help us. And we've gone through this process of evolution at least 5 times. These are different yuga cycles or Kali yuga cycles. And so when we have a look at the way that that works, you have to realize that the extraterrestrials are like, well, we need them to evolve. So what can we do? We can't just interfere with them because that's going to mess up our karma. What we can do is we can take people from our civilization and we can allow them to reincarnate on the planet in a human form. And so that is a starseed. And many people, they feel like they don't belong here. But the funny thing is that if you feel like you do not belong here, you're exactly where you need to be, because you're designed biologically, mentally, and spiritually to set an example of love and care and kindness and lead by example. And so all of the information that I give you guys, I have to put it into my life. I have to put it into my emotions, and I have to utilize it for myself. So I had to heal myself first before I can heal or assist others in healing on their journey. And so that's the way the star people come about the whole situation. Now, the Jedis are real. And so they do look like green guys with really big ears. I've seen them in my meditation. And so they do have psionic ability. So they are able to levitate items and do all of these amazing things. And these are real people. These are real psionic abilities. And this is where humanity is going. This is the reason why the extraterrestrials are here to activate each and every one of the starseeds, because you guys knew this information in your past life. So turning on the crystalline DNA system, because you're more loving, caring, kind, they're saying is going to be easier for you. However, if you succumb to the negativity of the planet, then it's going to be a little harder for you to activate. And so what they really want you to do is just put your life in the higher self's hands and really allow healing to manifest in each and every one of your lives. and then allow your highest passion to finally manifest for you. Because when you're following your highest passion, that is actually your mission. And it's simple to figure out what our highest passion is. What makes your heart jump for joy? That's what you are biologically designed to do. And so whatever it is that makes you super happy and excited, do a little bit of that every single day. And so the more and more and more that you focus on that and being of service to the entire collective. And so when you put both of those things together, now all of a sudden the universe says, okay, well, we're going to put that individual in alignment to experience more of their highest potential, their highest passion, and as well as being service to the collective. And so right then and there, anything that you need is going to land at your feet in order to help facilitate you on that timeline. That's what they're saying. Yeah. Oh, okay. What was the karate word? It was usa. So this usa. That's how I say it. I know it's really funny. Well, me and my kids say it all the time. We're like usa, usa, usa. So yeah, it's just. Yep, it's cool. Okay, next question. I get really nervous sometimes. Yeah, I don't know why. Okay. Let's see. Is this because it's been no lives on Earth? What about the souls who have only been on Earth? Do we call them Earthlings? Okay, so human souls, we do not call them Earthlings, and actually the extraterrestrials call them Terrans, and so it's totally different. Like I guess they have names that are different in extraterrestrial land, that are different than what we speak. And so you have to also realize that their language has not been manipulated, they're saying. And so their language is very clean. And so when we speak a word, it is a form of manifestation. And so a lot of people have realized that the English language has been manipulated to a degree in which we are using negative words, which is a form of casting energetically. And so good morning is one such example. And so good is a good word, it's positive, but then morning. And what do we do when we mourn? We're crying. And so you're putting a word combination together that doesn't really belong because you start your day like that. So what I personally do is I say, happy sunrise. And then I call everyone sunshine in the mornings. So happy sunrise, sunshine. And that's it. And then it just sounds a little bit better. And it's a different way of manifesting. So it hits your subconscious mind. The thing that you really have to realize, some people think it's fluff. Right. And so I understand how some people think that. However, when my daughter was in first grade, she had sight words. And so the teacher was like, she's messing up all the sight words. She's not getting them correct. And so I was like, we're not sitting here doing homework because it's my time to have time with them. And so what we did instead was I took all the sight words, I put them up on the wall by the kitchen table, and that was the only thing I did. We read them maybe once. Right. And so super mom, we went and we had fun. So after that, she started getting hundreds on every single test. So what was happening here? Because she was using that word, she was seeing it every day. It's stuck in her subconscious mind, and that's it. She started getting hundreds. And so this is the way your consciousness is designed to work, which is why we're supposed to be putting positive affirmations, positive words, whatever word makes you glow, whatever word makes you light up with joy, excitement, bliss, put them on your walls. I am a rock star, right? I am superb. I am healthy. I am happy. I am wealthy. I am kind. Sing it to yourself as a song. Right. And so you make it mantras. You say it over and over and over again until your subconscious mind clicks it and believes it. And so then all of a sudden you magnetize to all of those things starting to come to you. And so you'll actually feel the emotional expression of being healthy and happy and waking up in the morning. When you're really happy and healthy, let me tell you something, your excitement is all fired up because when you wake up, your eyes open and you want to jump out of bed, your feet hit the floor and you're going a mile a minute. That's the potential each and every one of us has. If you would have seen me 3 years ago, I was a cripple laying in bed. So I've come a long way and you guys can do it too. There's no reason that anybody can't turn their entire situation around very rapidly. And so each and every one of us has the potential. This is another reason why we shouldn't judge each other. Because if you take a look at someone who is down and out and going through their dark night of the soul, they can make a complete comeback from that very rapidly, 2 to 3 years. They can have a complete shift, turnaround. And then not only that, you don't even know what those people's IQs are. Because when you're drinking and you're eating chemicalized food and water, it has an effect on the way that you think, the way that you speak, and your vibratory level, they're saying. And so when they start cleaning up their diets, eating raw, organic, right, and really doing fasting here and there is great because it starts to reset your body. And so when you start putting all these things in a combination, the way that a person thinks, acts, behaves, all that stuff changes very rapidly. So it's just, we really shouldn't judge anyone. And then not only that, but let me tell you guys something. I've had experiences where I could swear to you that the guy digging in the dumpster was an angel, and I felt him. And not only that, but he had some sort of energetic ability where he looked at me and he was like, oh, you're going to write a book, right? You're going to be in front of a lot of people. And now here it is 2 years later, and look at what I'm doing. I'm writing a book and I'm in front of everybody. So, you know, you really shouldn't judge anybody because you don't know who's who, energetically speaking. The extraterrestrials have technology in which they can cloak themselves. And so this is widely known. They can cloak themselves from cameras. They actually have technology in which the cameras won't even see them if they don't want them to. And it's consciousness-driven technology. So they can have the little thing that looks like a cell phone in their pocket, and they can consciously tell the little technological device, cloak me from all these cameras, and then all of a sudden the cameras don't see them. And so, you know, this is real technology that exists in the solar system, and it's just we are not aware that they have it. Yeah. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Oh, I'm so sorry. You lost yourself after your mom. How do I figure it out? So that's actually question number 4, mediumship, and how each of us can connect to any person through time and space, and why I don't do mediumship. The star people I have seen. And so I've seen their UFO. They've been in my bedroom. I know that they're real. It's 100% fact in my world. And so they can move me. They can make me dance. They play with flies. Like, it's just an amazing experience for me. So to me, it's confirmed. Mediumship. Now, each and every one of us can tune in to our ancestors or people that we've lost. And so I do it all the time with my grandmothers. And so my grandmother, she had a very familiar way of doing things. And so when I feel the feeling, like let's say she's eating soup, right? And this one always comes to my mind because when I'm eating something like cereal, or, well, I don't really eat cereal, salad. When I'm eating something, I'll feel the emotional expression of her eating soup. And then I'm like, oh, she's here with me. That's how I know, because it's her emotion code. And so each and every one of us can do it. Just close your eyes and feel the emotion of how did it feel to be around that person. And so a lot of times when the star people are saying when you just lose someone, your emotions are fired up. It's harder to tune in to their emotion codes while your emotions are in grief or loss. And so just give it time for your emotions to rebalance and then start to consciously call them. And so we can call anybody. However, if you realize the way that the soul form actually works, a soul can be in a physical form. They can choose to make the exit. And now all of a sudden, that soul can drop down into a new body. And so it's kind of like it changes the personality. It's you can take your soul, your consciousness, and you can pull it up out of your body, and you can project it through the higher self into a parallel life, into a new body. Now, your personality complex is directly impacted by the physical form. And so you have your traumas. This is why your traumas, your emotions are stuck in your body. So we can see it in the physical, and you could release it in the physical. But all of this information, the binary codex, everything that makes you, your soul can pop out and pop into a different body. And then all of a sudden that soul is no longer you. It's a different person, and the memory grid starts to blend. And so this is why when you're doing a form of mediumship, what you're actually doing is you're tuning into the Akashic records of that person. And so just imagine for 1 second, the star people are saying that they have technology which they can put brainwave reading technology on an individual's head. And then all of a sudden, they can take the entire memory complex as well as how the brainwaves are stimulated. So if I ask that person this question, this is going to be their answer 9 times out of 10. And so what that does is that automatically starts to, you can program artificial intelligence to be that person. And so that's the technology that they have. And they're saying that they can use that with holographic simulations. So let's say, for an example, they wanted to pull a version of me. They could tune into my memory grid, tune into the personality complex, drag all 3 frequencies, a location code they have up there, and then they could project a hologram, and that hologram would basically be like an AI, and it would talk, walk, and speak just like me. And so, but they are also saying it depends on the frequency that the individual is holding during the time, because individuals go through different frequencies along their timelines. And so when you're younger, you may hold a very dramatically different frequency. And so you may be physically focused. You may be Like a rebel. I was a rebel when I was a kid. You know, I was very down with the system, right? And I've seen through the system ever since I was young. And so now I'm a little bit more calm, not in my old age. That's what he's laughing. Now I'm a little bit more calm now that I've had my kids. My kids are young and I'm like, yo, just chill, just be loving, caring, kind. But it's totally different than me as a kid. If you would have met me as a kid, you know, it was on. So yeah, it's just different. How do we tune into the ancestors? So feel their emotions. So how did it feel? How did it feel to hug them? How did it feel to sit down and have a conversation with them? And so when I was younger, I remember taking my grandfather, who was in the war at the time, and I had a whole conversation about his life. And so when I want to tune into him, I sit down and I remember that. And now they can make contact with us on their own. And so that's another thing. You could just speak to them and they'll hear it. And they can come down and they've actually, both of my grandparents, I was crying hysterically at the time. And so I felt like someone had touched my back and then they projected their like life pictures into my conscious mind and I saw them. And so I went running in the house and like, oh my God, I think my grandmother spoke to me. And I asked my mom, was she in this type of dress? And my mom was like, yeah, here's the picture. And so I had never seen that picture before. So that to me was confirmation because it showed me, okay, grandma was here and she gave me these images, right? And so, but I don't like to do mediumship because to me, it's like there's no proof, right? So I can't see them. I don't know that they're there, right? And so, yeah, that's just it. But I encourage each and every one of you guys to try for yourself. Because to me, that's the way that we learn is by trying everything ourselves. And so that is what an ascension guide is. I want you guys to try and do it yourself. You guys make contact and communication with the star people. They're waiting. They'll listen to every single one of you guys who are watching the video. Their eyes are on you right now. Talk to them. They will answer you. And so they may flow in the form of synchronicities. And so you may see the repetitive numbers on the clock. You may feel emotions. They may send you chills. They may send you a thought pattern. So there's many, many different ways. Yeah. So interesting. The power of feeling is so important in channeling ancestors. Yeah. But my question is, what about the subtle difference between feeling about someone and thinking about someone? Or is there a difference or is it the same? It's pretty much the same because if you're having an emotion and that emotion is making you think about that person, then the thoughts and the emotion are combined. And so when you sit there and you start to think and feel about your ancestors, you can send them energy or you can send them a hello. And when you send them a hello, then all of a sudden you'll get your reply. And so you'll have to feel it. And so many times we are told to go into meditation when we do this, because this way you are removing all of the physical reality and you're really tuning into how does it feel? And so how does your body feel? How do you have any signs, synchronicities? Is there any weight on the body? Is there any tension in the body? And this is one thing that they do with me constantly. And so I might tense up my back a little bit, right? And so they'll be like, now take a deep breath and release and let all of these muscles just sink and let them release. And when you do that, you'll actually feel your body will shift and you're like, oh, I was holding energy in that area. And so now you know, okay, now I have to consciously, so every hour or so, now I go in and I do that one breath and I try and release the energy from my back and I send it love and light, right? And I try and do this in a realist way because we are still in the real physical reality, right? And so we still have things that we have to do like dishes and chores and all this fun stuff. But when you have the time, when you are placing the focus on these type of things help you to heal very, very rapidly. And so a lot of times, me personally, I was going through a very rapid healing where I had to sit there and focus on healing. And so there was no time to focus on anything else. My house needed to be clean. My bills needed to be paid. My body needed focus. And so really when you take a break, and even if you have just one day off, and you just really focus on anything and anything that you can change in your life that's going to help you to be the best potential version of you possible. And so that's a really good thing for everybody to be doing on a regular, right? So what's one thing that can make me a better version of me? Is it maybe not having the coffee? Because the star people told me having the coffee was going to mess up my channeling. And so this is why I'm drinking juice box, right? So this was my one thing. Check. I'm doing something positive for me. And so everybody needs to start taking that into consideration. Just make one small change. And then one small change over time is going to snowball. And you're going to look back and you're going to be like, oh my God, I changed my entire life in 6 months. And so that goes with your frequency, because the more of these positive changes that everybody makes, the better you're going to feel, the more energy you're going to feel, the more amplified you're going to feel. And then not only that, you guys will start putting the focus on, now how do I get more chi energy? Because the chi energy is like life force energy. And so that's always the next step. So do some qi gong, because when you have an energetic grid that's surrounding you, and so qi gong or even yoga, they're saying do yoga too, because yoga is taking the physical form and you're stretching the physical form, which is shifting the energy inside the body. Qi gong is taking your energetic grids and it is sending it love and light, which is shifting the energy on the outside of the body. So you guys are each designed to be doing both at the same time. And so do yoga, add the breath in, and add the qigong. And so do all of these things, because anything that you can do to give yourself more energy, you're going to have more power. And more power just basically means that you can get more things done, or you can actually do more meditation, which will disconnect you from the physical reality and allow you access into the operating systems. They're saying. Yeah. Okay. So we had Jill asked, how do we know if we have experienced a Kundalini awakening? So when I experienced mine, it was dramatic. It was very dramatic, but I was also in a very toxic frequency. And so I was crippled. I was in pain. I was this, I was that. It was a nightmare. And so toxic. But when I had the Kundalini awakening, it felt like something had snapped directly up my body, and it rattled me because I felt it. And I was like, what was that? And so you won't be able to mistake it. And now actually the star people have me doing something with the right hand and 4 fingers. And they have me put the 4 fingers directly over my heart. And so I sit there and whatever it is that it's doing, he's saying it's filling in the chakra systems with like connecting the circuit. And so they do this to me, and so all of a sudden the Kundalini automatically rises. And so everybody should try that and just let me know if it works for you guys, because that's what they have me do. And so it works, because you feel it. You can feel like an energy rising up your whole body. And so the thing about the Kundalini energy is it goes into each one of the chakras. So if any of your chakras are very imbalanced, so like let's say it's off to the left or the right, it's going to hit the blockage, and it's going to cause a blockage in that area. It's going to really be very prominent, he's saying, of a blockage. So just be aware, you want to do the chakra clearing first. Make sure each one of your chakras is in alignment. So it has to go up and down in a straight line in your physical form. And then once it's in alignment, start using the breath and calling up the Kundalini. So it'll feel like it gets cold. It feels like a fire, or like just an energetic shift inside of you. It's very recognizable. Yeah. Okay. So Amanda said, let me take some juice box. String cheese and juice box is the best. Okay, what's the average day of an Arcturian? So the Arcturian's day is very, very different than our day. We wake up and we experience all this time like it's linear. They don't do that. And so, and I've even asked, because I have my starman who's Arcturian, and he's with me 24 hours, 7 days a week. We hold conversations all day long. And I asked him, how is it that you're here every microsecond of my day and like you don't get bored at all? And he's like, time flows differently. And so that is one thing. So if he needs something, it's instantaneously manifest. And so when you have all your needs, then all of a sudden, what is the thing that makes us feel the best? And that's helping other people. And so when they start coming forward, this is why many, many starseeds, you guys have your Arcturian or your whatever planet, home planet you guys are from, you have them watching you. And a lot of times they're standing right next to you because they're interacting, they're looking, they're sending you thoughts that you think are your own thoughts. And so that's something to be very, very aware of. So you may have a thought, oh, I want a sandwich, right? And so, but that thought, maybe that thought wasn't yours. It sounded like you in your head. It was that little voice that you think is you. And so, but a lot of times it's extraterrestrial and they're guiding us. Yeah, so we got 2 minutes left. Let me just do a quick. Ancient cities and how do they affect our lives? Ancient cities are on meridian and ley line crossings. And so those are always energy nodes. And so that's why they affect us, because they're pulsing the energy. That's the reason why they put those cities in those locations. However, this is a holographic simulation. And if we really wanted to, we can go inside of ourselves and we could change the cities. We can even remove the pyramids. So that's really important. Yeah, I feel like something is blocking me today. So weird. Not getting angry though. Okay, alien species, good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah. So that's another thing, right? There's billions and billions of extra. Do you see how many stars? How many stars are here? Those are suns. A star is like a sun. And each one of those has planets like ours rotating around it. There's billions. There's octopus ones. They're saying, don't say the word ugly. Be nice. Don't be a racist. So there's different ones. And not only that, but we never want to generate fear or worry because, you know, each one is just different. And so not every gray alien is evil. They have to have nice, polite, nice ones there too, right? Not every human is evil. We're not. We're very loving, caring, kind. And so we don't judge. And we just, to me, I'll see when I see it. I want to see, right? And so manifestation is really important, but I also want to see. I've seen their UFO. I know that they're real. And so I want to see what the people up there look like. I want to interact with them. You know, I want to travel. I want to go to multiple planets. I want to see, how do your beaches look? Are they purple? Right? And so how does your sky look? Is it green? We have all these questions have to be answered and asked. And so many times we can actually remote view, he's saying, and we can go and take our soul form and go up there and look for ourselves. So we do not have to wait for an extraterrestrial race to come pick us up. That could potentially be dangerous, he's saying. So it depends on who you're in alignment with, depends on who's watching. Some people have had negative experiences. So just keep it as, you know, allow your star family who's loving, caring, kind to interact with you. And really, you should have a long-term interaction with them before even considering getting on a craft. And so at least a couple of months just to see, get a feel for them, right? And so a lot of times you may, when we interact with each other, when we hang out with each other for an extended period of time, if that person lies or anything, it'll show up. And so you should be forming relationships telepathically and then making sure it's safe. Feeling. How do you feel? Does it feel safe? You know, but yeah, sign me up. I want to go. That's my picture, right? Pick me up. So yeah. Excellent. Okay, so we are running out of time now. We did cover all the questions, surprisingly. Tonight is the inner Zoom. So I believe there was 4 seats left for that. And so the seats can be purchased at daniellelipton.com. The monthly inner Zoom channeling session, that's what that is. And so I put the link up on my Facebook. You guys can get that now. Yeah, so I do offer private sessions for people where your star family information comes across, as well as what attunements to extrasensory ability also comes across. All that stuff can be found at Danielle Lipton. We are running a Black Friday discount right now, so we are giving $99 off the sessions. So yeah, that's at Danielle Lipton. Please like, share, and follow for more. And then, yeah, that really helps us, you know, spread the information far and wide because, and then we have an email subscription list. So the email list, go to daniellelipton.com, just put your email in. So if any censorship does happen, I can still communicate with you guys. Now, the email list, I'm an overgiver. So I do this. So I overgift everything. So on the email lists, we send out specials occasionally. And so, yeah, that's where that goes. We do have the Star People group. That's on Facebook. That's another one. If I get censored on Facebook, I can still post on the Star People group. So that's a way for me to still get the channeling out. I do have over 500 posts written down on Facebook. And so if you guys read through them and send me questions, daniellelipton.com, there's a little message icon. And then I'll go through and I'll try and answer all your questions on the next video. Yeah, so that's excellent. What else? Oh, the crystal package. Okay. We wanted to come up with a way where we can share crystals with each other because I was sitting here looking at all my crystals and like, you know, I would love to give all these away, but I don't want to just donate them. I want to give it to people who actually want them. And so we came up with a whole crystal package where if you want to donate crystals, we will take the donated crystals and we will put them in the package for people. And so, and then if you want to receive a crystal box, those can be purchased at daniellelipton.com. This way we can cover the shipping. We're really not making much off of these things. We went and we wanted to add extra gifts and extra crystals into the box as well. So you'll be getting a crystal box from me with the donated crystals in it. And then everybody gets one crystal from my private collection. And so all of these crystals, I'm going to personally sit down and do DNA activations on all of them. And so the star people come in and we sit there in a meditation state. And I really just open and just allow source frequency, love and bliss, and activation of the crystalline DNA system. Yeah. Unfortunately, removing crystals from the earth doesn't help Gaia. Actually, it can be a two-way communication. And so what the star people told me is there's giant, massive crystal caves inside the earth. And so a lot of times it's selenite. And so now just imagine, because if I take a piece of my hair and I gave it to somebody who understood how telepathy works, then they would actually have the ability to change or modify my body just by using this one tiny piece. This is why you hear stories in the magic shows about give me some of your blood, right? And so they can actually make you sick by taking a vial of your blood and casting certain energetic frequencies over it. That's science. That's not magic. Even though it's on a TV show, it's science. And so, but the same thing goes for Mother Earth. And so Mother Earth, this is a consciousness. So it's a 2D consciousness. So these things are aware. And so because they are aware, that means that we can communicate with them. We can have contact. They can heal us. And they actually choose where they go. So I've had crystals just randomly disappear. And then all of a sudden, they may find their way to someone else's pocket. Someone else who needed it more than me. So your crystals choose when they leave you. And so we've all lost crystals and we're like, where did it go? That's where it goes, because the crystal decides when to stay and when to go. And so, but a lot of times we can take the crystal, we can actually go into the meditation state, and we can contact, using telepathy, we can contact Mother Earth's crystalline core. And so a lot of the memory grids and all of that information about the earth as a whole is stored in the crystalline core. Now, the crystalline core is directly connected into the crystalline DNA grids in the human form and in the energetic grid structures. And so, yeah, that's why it's another level to the holographic simulation. And so we can use crystals. Now, I also advise people to, source them wise. And so we don't want to be buying from a particular location that's over-sourcing them and it's messing up the environment or polluting the environment. So me personally, I live in Pennsylvania. There's places over here where we can go and we can dig up our own. And so, that's where we take the kids. We go mining, right? And so that's an adventure in itself. And then you get something straight from the earth, and then it helps to form a connection. And so when you really start to do the energetics on the crystals, it changes everything, because you can change your entire tone just by carrying a certain crystal. And so anybody who has seen moldavite, so moldavite, I have it in a jar. It's that tiny little one. This one's the tiny little one. Moldavite, when you have to actually take it out of the glass to use it, though, because glass blocks light ions. And so when you hold it, it actually pulses your energetic grids, and any density inside of your grid gets pulsed off of you. And so it can cause chaos in your life. You can hold it, and then you could feel like you're getting sick and stuff. And so you use it a little bit and then you put it away. And then when you feel like your density or your dragging butt, I would hold it. And this way it would try and release all of that. Yeah, we do have to cut it because we are starting the Zoom in 20 minutes. So thank you guys very, very much. And I will see you in the Zoom, and many, many love and blessings. You guys have a great night. Okay.